Scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today, and I'm warning you in advance if you don't want to see a layout about my butt. Just go ahead and skip this one, y'all. This is a pretty hilarious story, and I could not resist scrapbooking it with the Cocoa Daisy Peach Ridge collection for my vacation album, because peaches, duh. So it had to be told. There are no pictures of my bare butt, don't worry. But what happened was, I told my husband I really wanted him to take more pictures on our vacation. I said, babe, can you please take more pictures so that I have pictures of me on vacation? And in return, I got lots of pictures of me, including a butt ton, haha, of my butt. So when I put all of our vacation pictures together, it was a pretty hilarious story that needed to be told, and there are peaches in the Peach Ridge collection. So yes, this is what's getting told. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating a pocket on this Traveler's Notebook size paper for this card to slide in, because I want the top half of the card to be part of this overall phrase that I'm creating over here. And then I want the bottom half of the card to have my journaling about this story. So the end result, what I want is for it to sit slightly out of this pocket to incorporate or to interact with the title that's already on the card, and then also to hide my journaling. So I created the slit in the page, and now I'm going to take double-sided tape and create rails for the card to stop on so that it doesn't slide all the way through the pocket. I do this often when I'm creating pockets. You've seen me do it before. This time I'm going to use double-sided tape, and then I'm going to just stick a piece of cardstock, from my scrapbook stash on the back, and create a little pocket on the back rather than on the front, which is what I normally do. There we go. So now you can see when I flip it over, you slide this card in and it stops so that it hangs right out the top. And now I'm going to add the rest, or in a second, I'm going to add the rest of the title to that card. Okay, so this is what the layout looks like now. Those are all the pictures of my bouquet. I'm going to just build a really simple grid sort of design around the brown cardstock I have over there, the wood cardstock. So I'm matting all of these photos on alternating, coordinating cardstock. I decided to really lean into the greens with this layout because obviously one of my photos has a lot of green in it, and I haven't really leaned into the greens with this collection yet, so I had some left over. So also there's green leaves in the peaches and all of that, so I just decided to go with it. I'm going to put this in the middle and then put my photos down around it so that I can make sure everything is spaced well. I need to really make sure that I avoid the holes on the inside edges of the page. That's why I cut them before I started this. I don't always, which is sometimes to my detriment, but this time I made sure to cut the holes or punch the holes in the cardstock before I started laying these photos down so that I wouldn't have to go through and punch holes in the photos themselves later on down the line. I do struggle a little bit trying to clear those holes and maybe overlap and trying to figure out what I want to do here. But in the end, I let the photo overhang the holes just slightly. I'll still be able to get my rings through the holes, but I really needed it to be centered and not overlapping. So I went with it. It won't be a big deal. There we go. Made sure to alternate the backgrounds on those photos as well so that they're not, they're not in a line. So my idea was to use these cardstock chevron arrows all over the page. Initially I put these down and I didn't really have a plan for them, and it looks like I didn't really have a plan for them, but don't worry, I bring it together in a second and make it make sense. Make it make sense. Trying not to point directly at my butt in all of these photos because that's not really the point I was trying to make. I wanted it to be more of like a visual going around in circles. So I took a break decided to put down my title instead. I'm going to use 2 different alphabets from the collection. So now it says, "Thanks, babe, you're a peach." Now I'm getting a double pun out of this peach metaphor. You know, obviously the emoji butt pun of the peach itself, plus the "you're a peach" and my sarcasm of "thanks, babe, you're a peach." That made me happy. I love puns, so puns and metaphors are all over this page, and I like it. I initially was going to put this arrow down over here, decided it did not look right. I'm going to come back and finish off this cluster down here at the bottom because I really felt like I needed to figure out the left-hand side and what I was doing over there before I could really make the right-hand side look right. I knew I needed to extend the visual of the right-hand side all the way down the page because otherwise it was really top-heavy. So that's kind of why I'm putting things down there. Okay, so now we're going to start again with these arrows, and luckily for me, even though I start sticking them down with their adhesive, they come back up and I can reposition them because I do not put them down where I want them initially. So I don't know, like I was just kind of a little lost here for a second, but that's okay. We're making it work. It'll come up. It'll work. So you can see that they are just a hot mess right now. I think I put this one down and then I realized what I'm doing. Maybe it took one more. I'm not sure. Yes, here we go. Now I'm going to start pulling them up and going, oh yes, okay, now I know what I want. So I'm going to put 2 right here so that they are pointing downwards. And then I'm going to put 2 stacked on top of each other, or I guess next to each other here as well. Oh, maybe on top of each other. I liked the way that the arrows were pointing at each other. It made more sense visually for me. Then I realized that I couldn't put 2 little ones together. I needed to spread the little ones around the page because I only had a couple. So now I'm going to switch these up, and look at that. That looks so much better already. Hooray! But I had this extra one, so I decided to cut my legs off and point at that hot stuff. Of course, tongue thoroughly in cheek with that word bit. I don't know. I think that this layout is hilarious, and I know that it might offend some people. I'm not sure why. I'm fully clothed in all of these photos, but, you know, after 17 years, if your husband still likes your butt enough to take multiple pictures of it on vacation, it's something you might want to celebrate. So I'm adding a title over here, and it says, "All I said was, can you make sure to take more photos on vacation?" So altogether it says, "Can you make sure to take more photos on vacation? Thanks, babe, you're a peach." Off camera, I'm going to add in my journaling on that journal card, so you'll be able to pull it out and see what I have to say about it. But basically it just tells the story. So I need to finish up this cluster down here on the bottom so that the visual is extended from top to bottom and it doesn't feel weird and top heavy. So I decided to just go all in on the words for this page because there's a lot of great like fun, laugh, no words needed, this was a true story in the collection, so I wanted to incorporate some of that. Of course, I'm going to bring in my handy dandy enamel dots to really finalize some of this visual. I love these flat enamel dots. I'm going to say it and say it and say it in every video until the universe hears me and we get more and more flat enamel dots. I'm going to add some over here to lighten up some of this wood grain as well. And that is about it for this video. Just going to adjust these dots around a little bit. If you enjoyed it, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. If you're interested in subscribing to Coco Daisy, there is a link in the description box below. And I will see you next time. All right, thank you.